Masechtas Shabbos Daf Beis, amazing. We finished Masechtas Brachas, and now we're going to take this journey, 156 days of Shabbos. The Torah says it's usher to do Melach on Shabbos, and that includes 39 Melachos, Avos, primary Isurim. To that we have subcategories of secondary Isurim. When the Mishnah in Daf Ayin Gimel describes all 39 Melachos, the last final Melacha is the Melacha that our Mishnah, which Masechtas Shabbos begins with, the Melacha of Haitzah, to carry from one domain to another, to transfer an object from Rishus HaYachid to Rishus HaRabim, or from Rishus HaRabim to Rishus HaYachid. Rishus HaRabim is a public domain, a street that is 16 amos wide, and many people go by there every day. Rishus HaYachid is a private domain, property that's surrounded by walls that are at least 10 tefachim high. The property has to be a certain size, 4 tefachim by 4 tefachim. Transferring from one property to the other is asur. In order to be over that isur, you have to accomplish two things. You have to do an akira and a hanacha. You have to lift that object up and place it down in another domain. When the Torah says haitzah, it's referring to going from Rishus HaYachid to Rishus HaRabim. But when you go from Rishus HaRabim to Rishus HaYachid, that's called hachnasa. Although our Mishnah describes both of those cases as a yitziyah. The Mishnah starts off saying, Yitziyas HaShabbos, Shtayim, they are 2, which equal 4. When a person stands inside or outside, it's 2 that equals 4 for a total of 8. Meaning, the Mishnah starts off with a person that the Mishnah describes ani, not necessarily poor, it's just a character to describe him so we don't confuse him with the person standing inside called the balabais. The person outside, the ani, lifts up an object. He does an akira, and he places that object from Rishus HaRabim, he places it into Rishus HaYachid. He did a hanacha over there. He's chayiv midaraisa. The second case regarding this ani that's standing outside in Rishus HaRabim is he lifts up an object in Rishus HaYachid and brings it to himself in Rishus HaRabim. He did an akira and a hanacha, but in the opposite direction as the first case, and in both of them you're chayiv. The corresponding cases which he's only chayiv midarabanan, not midaraisa, are case number 5 and 8 on this list. And that is when an ani does hachnasa. Where the ani lifts up an object in Rishus HaRabim, and he extends his arm into Rishus HaYachid, but rather than doing hanacha in Rishus HaYachid, he lets the balabais do the hanacha. Now it's 2 people that did one melacha, therefore midaraisa they are pater, but midarabanan they are chayiv. The 8th case is where the ani lifts up an object in Rishus HaRabim, but rather than transferring it into Rishus HaYachid, the balabais sticks his hand out into Rishus HaRabim, and he does the transferring and the hanacha in Rishus HaYachid. The next 2 cases in the Reisha, case number 3 and 4, talk about a man who's standing in Rishus HaYachid. We call him the balabais. He does haitzah, lifting up an object from Rishus HaYachid and placing it in Rishus HaRabim. That's asur min haTorah because he did a akira and a hanacha. And case number 4 is where he sticks his hand out into Rishus HaRabim, grabs an object, and brings it into Rishus HaYachid. Asur min haTorah, he did akira hanacha, and that's called hachnasa. The corresponding 2 cases in this list in the Mishnah are case number 6 and 7, where the balabais lifts up an object in Rishus HaYachid, and the ani extends his arm into Rishus HaYachid, and the balabais places the object into the ani's arm, not doing hanacha because the hanacha didn't take place in Rishus HaRabim yet. All the balabais did was akira. The ani finishes it off doing the hanacha. It's 2 people did a malacha, shnaim she'asuha, pturim. They're both patur midaraisa, but chayiv midarabanan. And finally, the 8th case is where, the 7th case, the balabais lifted up the object rather than waiting for the ani to extend his hand into the Rishus HaYachid. He extends his hand into the Rishus HaRabim and places it into the ani's hand. Rather, the ani takes it out of his hand and does the hanacha in Rishus HaRabim. So here again, we have a case where 2 people did 2 malachas, akira and hanacha, and they are patur midaraisa, chayav midarabanan. Those are the 8 cases in the Mishnah. The Gemara brings a Mishnah in Masechtas Shavuos that's very similar, that says 2 which are 4, and brings a number of cases. One of them is a shvuah. If somebody takes an oath, the Torah describes it as in the future. He says he's not going to eat or he is going to eat. That's 2. But we add the eraisis as well, the past. I didn't eat or I did eat. The other case is Tumah. Midaraisa in the pasuk talks about when a person forgets that he is tamei and walks into the Beis Hamikdash knowing it's a Beis Hamikdash, forgetting that he's tamei, he has to bring a carbon oil of yared. Or he forgot that he's tamei and he eats kachim. The other two cases that we add to that is when he forgets that it's the Beis Hamikdash. He didn't realize it's the Beis Hamikdash, or he didn't realize that he's eating kachim. Negaim is when somebody has a white spot on his skin. The Torah talks about a se'es and a beheres. One looks like snow, the other looks like wool, and we add two more deraises. One looks like lime, and the other one looks like the membrane of an egg. But when the Mishnah in Shavuos describes Shabbos, it only talks about two which are four, rather 4 that are 8, like in our Mishnah. Why? Rav Papa attempts to make a pshat. He says that our Mishnah is the Hilchos Shabbos. We're talking about Masechta Shabbos, and therefore it talks about things that are also pater, not just aser. Whereas in Masechta Shavuos it talks about only Yisurim. Now we have to realize, like we explained at the beginning, that Hachnasa, going from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah, is considered in our Mishnah a Yitzia, because you see that our Mishnah starts off using the word Yitzia and goes on to describe immediately Hachnasa, going from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah. And the Mishnah in Ayin Gimel, describing the last of the Lametes Malachas, talks about going from one Rishus to another Rishus, and doesn't differentiate whether you're going from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah, which is the Yitzia, or whether going from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah, which is Hachnasa. It calls them both a Yitzia, Haitzah. Finally, Rava says that when our Mishnah talks about Shtayim Shem Arba, Shtayim is referring to the domains. There are two domains in Midaraisa, the Rosh Hashanah and Rosh Hashanah, Shehem Arba, which can cause 4 Isurim of Haitzah. And our Mishnah includes 4 additional Haitzahs, which are only Asur Midrabanan. Have a wonderful day.